this is Sasha with Harmony Air. Today I completed the installation of a off-grid solar system with a POMCube product, and I would like to give my feedback on this product and share with you what I like about it. There are many products on the market as far as batteries and inverters go. They have advantages and pros and cons. Today I would like to talk about POMCube. This is not a sponsored video. I'm just sharing my opinion as an installer. We are doing a lot of off-grid systems and a lot of on-grid systems with battery backups. This house specifically is off-grid system. It has a 20 panels array. Those are Q cells, 425 watt each, so 8.5 kilowatt DC array. POMCube equipment can accept up to 16.5 kilowatts of DC. So we are practically at half capacity of the charge controllers. There are two independent charge controllers that each one can take up to 30 amps. So a lot of flexibility on how you can arrange your strings and how much power you can bring into POMCube. I'm also using Tyco optimizers. I'm practically using Tyco optimizers on every single DC string project we do. Of course, we did try the Solar Edge systems, but they're very limited compared to everything else because obviously there are many products out there besides Solar Edge, and Solar Edge can only be used in a Solar Edge system. Their optimizers are only compatible with their inverters. But Tycos are universal. They can work with any inverters, so we successfully use them with many systems. My favorite ones obviously are Solarx and today POMCube, so that's what I would like to share. So what are the advantages? The main advantages is that this is a great unit. It's all in one cabinet, inverter on top, that 20 kilowatt battery, lithium iron phosphate batteries, so safe for indoors, no off-gassing on this, and no thermal runaway. It's very convenient. It's all in one cabinet. It is scalable, so if it's not enough, we can add more. It's a 20 kilowatt battery at the bottom, and the inverter is 12.5 kilowatts AC output. So that's one of the major advantages that you get in 12.5 kilowatts. Whether you're on grid or off grid, you're still getting 12.5 kilowatts AC output out of the inverter. So that's quite huge. That's 50 amps continuous, 52 amps continuous. So if it's not enough, we could add another one. Like I have another projects where we're actually doing a full house backup. We're gonna have 3 POMCubes back to back, and we will have 156 volts, 156 amps continuous AC output. So that's practically will do the whole house. If you wanted all 200 amps, then we'll do 4 of those units. Tycos obviously allow us monitoring and individual panel optimization output. So this way we can also see how the system is working on the level, on the module level. So one of the really big advantages besides the high output and a large battery capacity is the modularity and of the system. So yes, we can connect multiple of those. We can also connect You can connect it to the grid, you can connect the generator, it has generator control. We can AC couple it, DC couple. All of those things are definitely helpful because it gives an opportunity to use this product in many different configurations. But as an installer, there's multiple benefits as far as installation goes. As you can see, this is just one cabinet, so installing it, it certainly saves time and labor and materials that are involved. The cabinet itself comes empty, so when we receive the product, it comes in multiple crates, and one of the packages is the cabinet itself, which is the lower part from here down. This is the battery cabinet, and it comes empty. So all we need to do is bring it in and bolt it to the wall. There is a bracket. It has to be on the ground because of the weight. If it had to be elevated off the ground, obviously we can build some kind of a pedestal or use appropriate elevation techniques. But it needs to be on a solid, stable structure that can support the 500-pound weight. Now, once we install the cabinet, the battery modules, there are 8 modules, and they come individually packaged, and those modules are 50 pounds a piece. So installing those modules, you just slide them in, and then I'll show it to you. They'll slide from the side of the cabinet, and they plug into the back plugs, and you don't need to wire anything. They just plug in. It's a plug-in connector. You just slide the battery in, and it plugs into the connector. So there is no need to do wiring. There is no need to do measure wires, cut wires, put plugs, or anything like that. You just slide the battery module in, secure it with 4 provided screws, and it's over, and it's a one-man job. So installing the cabinet plus the batteries, it's a matter of minutes. I mean, within half an hour, you have the entire cabinet installed, battery in, and they're connected and plugged in. From that point on, we install the inverter on the top, and it bolts to the bracket that connected to the cabinet, and then we just run the wires that are already provided. There's a DC plus, DC minus, and reference wire, and also communication wire. So that job takes about maybe 10 minutes or so. I would say within an hour you have the entire product installed, ready to go. Activation is as simple as turn the buttons on. It's that simple. Of course, from the PV array, we have to get the conduits to this unit, but that's a normal job. That's just something that you do anyway with any equipment. But as far as getting this equipment ready for the PV, probably within an hour you have a unit ready, and it's a one-man job. Lifting the inverter, it's more of a two-man job. One man could do it, but it's about 100 pounds, so it definitely two men. But lifting the inverter up, it's a matter of 2 minutes, and then it's down to one worker. So labor-wise and simplicity-wise, this is definitely a major win. And then from the inverter, you go into your AC panel. In this case, we have this AC distribution panel. So if we added more of those POMCubes, we can wire them in. Each one of them will get a breaker, and from this point on, the electrician will take power to the breaker panels inside the house. But again, it's that simple, and it's very clean. everybody that see that quite excited. Um, the other contractors on the job, the homeowner, it looks really neat. It's wide, it matches, and it's slim. It's not like a huge product, and all the transfer switches and everything is within the unit, so you don't have multiple boxes. It's really one box. If you didn't want to use Tigo, you don't have to. It would work without optimizer, so you would just have one cabinet. The unit has an app, so you can connect to the app and obviously see all data on the, how the system is doing, and you can do lots of different ways of programming it. It does have some LED indication lights. Again, quite simple, just a battery charge status and just a unit operation status. So overall, there is a lot of advantages. Price versus battery capacity and inverter output. This is the greatest value that's available on the market. So that's definitely a big plus. So let me show you the battery cabinet and the inverter wiring portion, because that's also another benefit of this unit, is that the wiring is really simple to do, because there is a very nice space available for it. So you remove this cover, and here's the access, and it's just a lot of space to work with. So as far as working and wiring, I mean, it's really generous amount of space. Of course, it's not a whole room, but you can definitely quite easily work over here. This is the MPPTs. We have two separate MPPTs, 1 and 2. Battery wires, and because it's a high voltage battery, the wires are actually quite small, so we don't need to work with very large number 2 or 1-aught or 2-aught or 4-aught cables, anything like that. This is just number 8 wire, very simple. And then from here we have a grid terminal, load terminal, and generator terminal, and a whole bunch of different ways and connections and options as far as connecting to the network, controlling the generator, and there's almost no limitation as far as how you can wire this unit and use it. Indication lights, I like that this is kind of minimal. If you want to see continuous, like a screen, some products come with a screen, which is convenient, but quite easily a cheap tablet can be attached to the unit and would play a role of a screen. If somebody wanted to have a screen on a unit, it's just not very common, neither for the homeowner or the installer. We can use our smart devices, so I don't think it's a major drawback that it doesn't have a screen. The network is blinking because we are not connected to the internet yet, so until the homeowner gets his internet in and Wi-Fi will be broadcasted, then we can connect and the network light will go solid green. This is the side of the unit, and this is what I wanted to show you. This is the battery access door, the actual battery modules. So we open this hatch, and here we can see the upper module with the red on-off switch. This is a battery management unit, and then below that we have individual modules, battery modules. There are 8 of them. They all in series, so they wire into high voltage, and once again they just slide out. There are those handles over here, so you lift a single battery module. It's about 50 pounds. One man can lift it, no problem. You slide it in, and it just clicks in. There's no wiring that needs to be done on the back of it. It just slides in, it clicks into the connector on the back of the cabinet over here. It's already all pre-wired. There are buses already pre-made. Once again, no need to do anything. And then you just put the screws in to secure it in place. 4 screws, done. One by one you put all 8 modules in, and it's over. It's done. Turn the switch on, press the button on, and your unit is functional. So in this regard, it's also, if there was any kind of issue with the battery cells, those modules can be swapped individually, and the BMS unit will identify which module, let's say there was a problem, which module is misbehaving. So that's for servicing. It's also quite easy. There are other products that have modular batteries, but again, they're super heavy, and some of them are just much harder to wire. You have to follow specific protocols and specific order how to wire them, and if you don't do it correctly, they just won't work. This is plug and play, literally. And then over here, this is the battery wire connection. So again, 2 screws, you remove this sliding door, and then those are the wires that are coming from that module, battery plus minus in the reference, and BCMS wire. They're running down through the knockout. It's about maybe 5 to 10 minute job. So huge advantage over there. I think that's probably all I can say. I think this is we're gonna watch those units. So far, I definitely like it very much. Installation wise, also no need to program anything. I mean, yes, there are optional programming menus available, but overall you turn the unit on, and it works. It works right out of the box. So no need to go and figure out what specific batteries you're using, and then program all the different voltages and discharge currents and discharge currents and discharge currents and all of the stuff. And none of this is needed because it already comes from the factory, pre-programmed, optimized for maximum performance. And yes, we can select the discharge levels, so we can limit the unit from discharging below a certain percentage. But it's all super easy, very intuitive menu in the app. But as far as, again, installation and commissioning of the system, I think it's a rare product compared to other things that are out there. You have to work really hard to relatively speaking, by comparison to this, much more work and time is needed to activate the system, commission it, communicate with all the components, and then programming all the different parameters. So that's my opinion on a POMCube. You're welcome to reach me in the comments with if you have any questions, or if you have any comments to share, whether you have tried the POMCube before, or if you're interested in my experience with this. This is the second system we installed of POMCube. We're gonna continue. We have about 10 systems going in on different types of jobs, off-grid and on-grid, and let me know what you think. Thanks.